Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a survival bushcraft shelter, I guess you could call it, but basically a shelter if you're out in the wilderness. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do it. This might be a little bit of a long video, but maybe someone will watch it and learn something. So first I'm going to try to show what you'll want to find, what you'll need to make it. Then I can show you some things for around the camp. And also, something kind of cool here is this is either a raccoon skull or a, the heck, oh, there's a giant spider right there. Right, I'm trying to find it with the camera, I can't, there it is right there. That is a wolf spider. That is a subspecies of wolf spider right there. I cannot tell you the name of it, but that's really cool. Here's some sort of skull, though. I'd say this is a coon. But, alright, so I'm going to try to find a good spot, and once I find a good spot, I'll explain it to you what I'm doing. Also, something else, guys, and also there's my dog Zeus. If you haven't seen him, he's a good old boy. But, anyways, if y'all are wanting a shelter you're wanting to last you, a long time, that's what I'm kind of wanting today, because just to kind of have something to show for what I did. Then you're going to want to find, some trees with branches. But if you didn't want a shelter that was going to last a while, see how this cedar tree has fallen and made that angle? There's two different ways you could turn this into a shelter. You'd have to chop all the limbs off of it. But what you could do is you could take and come up and lay sticks. Lay a stick like this, then lay a stick like that, all the way up. And that's kind of like an A-frame. That's a name of a shelter. But what I'm going to be showing to you today is kind of like a lean-to. But I'm going to keep trying to find a good spot. So my dog Zeus just found a hole, and I don't know what lives in this hole. I wouldn't recommend doing this to anyone, or doing this, but I have my flash turned on. I'm going to shine it up in the hole. I don't see anything, but he definitely smells something. There could be something up in there, but I do not see anything right now. But if you hear him barking in the background, that'll probably be him trying to find it. But anyways, I found my spot, and let me show you what I found. Okay, so what I found here is I found a cedar right here. And then I found I think this is an elm or some sort of an oak. This is a winged elm right here. And the tree type honestly doesn't matter too much. But you want smaller trees for this, and there's two different ways you can do this if you use two smaller trees. So, first, you can find a tree. What is it, boy? But you can find a tree. See how this is like a Y? You can put a stick right here. I can't with this one because there's a dead limb on it, and it's not very strong. You can see how much is bending. But you can put a stick here, and you'll want there to be a fork over there like this. That'll hold your stick. And then also, what I'm doing today is I found two that are parallel to each other right here. And I'm going to try to show you how to make a simple kind of shelter. And also, I can't show you guys my sharp cutting tool that has a blade on it because I'll get a channel strike from YouTube, and I really don't want that. So, I'm going to work on that real quick, and hopefully I can get it done. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take and I'm going to cut all these limbs off to about 4 feet, I would say. And to right about here. Yeah, that's about 4 feet. So I'm going to cut to right there. Alright guys, so now that I have this one all limbed up right here, I am going to want to kind of clear this area out. You're going to want a decent sized area, and your trees, most time you want them to be 4 to 5 feet apart. You can have them not as far apart, but if you live like 2 people, you'll definitely want them at least 4 feet, but most likely 5. And also today, if you was in a real survival situation, you would not really be worried about this, but today I'm going to be trying to not cut down as many trees as I possibly can. So I'm going to be using some things on the ground like that cedar right there. But let me keep showing you what I'm going to do. So first, real quick, I'm going to move this log out the way. Then I'm going to clear these leaves away. Also, a trick, if you don't really know, to move the leaves out of the way, you can take your boot, shoe, whatever you're wearing, as long as you're not wearing flip-flops, you can just kind of move it out of the way like this. You can see how that's working. And It doesn't have to be perfect, but the reason you want to move out of the way is you don't want any critters with you. But I'll tell you some tips and tricks on how to stay warm and stuff like that when I get this built. But I'm just going to keep doing this till I get a, like, however wide this is. I'm going to want it as wide as these are. So, that's why I'm just going to keep doing it. And then I'll go out probably about 6 feet. Alright, so now that I'm standing right here, you can see there's this tree, the elm. You can see there's the cedar tree. And then I have it cleared out between them. And then I have like a 4 foot by 6 foot area cleared out. Maybe a little bit more. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a stick that's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches around that I can use. So let me find that. And you want it to be straight too. So let me find that and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Also, I forgot to mention that it needs to be pretty long. Like this one right here, you can see this one. It's not very good. Sorry about my hand being in the way, but I'm having to use one hand right now. There we go. But this one, see how it tapers so much? You don't really want that. That's like 2.5 inches down there, 3 inches right there. But then up here, it's like 1 inch. So you don't really want that. Alright, so this tree right here is about 2 inches all the way up until right there, and that's about 6 foot of tree, which is what you want. You want it to be about 1.5 feet to 2 feet wider than your trees are, so I'm going to use my tool to cut this down, and then I'll bring it over there and show you what I'm going to do with it. And this video might be a little bit boring to some, but this video really is just to kind of get anyone that's kind of wondering on the basics of like making a shelter. This is probably about as basic as you can get, I would say. Alright, so you can see this piece of wood is probably about 7 feet long, I would say, but that's alright. So you can see that this goes past it right there, and it goes past it right there. That tree to right there. That's a good thing, because when this is hung up, basically it'll be about right, oh, that's kind of heavy with one arm, but it'll be about right there. Sorry about the sun. And you can hang your backpack or anything that you want to hang on it, on the end of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you how to do lashing, which is how you get this to stay to the tree really good. And also some really good line for doing this is bank line. Any sort of bank line is pretty good. I have this green stuff. If you use paracord, if it's all that you have, it's okay. But paracord stretches out really bad. And when you use bank line, I sound like a toddler, but you will want to burn the ends of it every time you cut it. If you don't, it will unfray just like this. It'll become a mess, and it can become undone. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this and burn the tip of it just a little bit, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Alright guys, so I got this cut and burned, and you'll just kind of want to smash it flat like that, and that's so it doesn't fray. And if y'all stick to the end, I'll show you something kind of pretty. I'm pretty close to a waterway, and it's really pretty, but I'll show you that at the end. This video might be 25 minutes long, but this is an informational video to hopefully get someone started. So now what I'm going to do is, if I had 2 people, this would be really nice, but that's okay. I don't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up, and I want to make sure that I have enough length at this side over here that it'll cover it, which I do. So I'm going to slide it down just a little bit so it's about even. So I'm going to put it at about my chest height, which that'll be plenty tall enough. And I'm going to lash this, and I'm going to try to show you how to do it. And I'm going to show you while this end is on the ground, and then I'll actually do it for real. First thing you're going to do is you're going to want to take and tie a half hitch around the tree and around your stick. And I will show you how to do that. And you're going to grab it. And it's a pretty simple knot, I guess you could say. You want to go under this and then back over to this like that. And then you want to go under this here. So it'll kind of look like this. And then you're going to bring your spool of line to the top. And you're going to want about 1 foot of room for play. And then I'm going to tie a simple overhand knot right here, which that's like the first part of tying your shoe, but I can't do this one-handed. Alright, so now it kind of looks like a mess, which to be honest it kind of is, but this is just to hold your stick on the tree. And then now what you're going to do is you're going to take your spool of line. Mine fell, but you're going to want to wrap your line around the back like this. Then you're going to want to wrap it over. And once you get under here, you're going to put it over this. You're going to go around the back and go over this. And then just kind of repeat it. And I'll show you what that looks like once I get it started. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. If you want a better video on lashing, watch this video and then go to a better video on lashing. I know that sounds bad, but I do not have a camera stand. So you're going to go around, you're going to come up, you're going to go around this side, and then you're going to go over this like that. And then I'm going to, since I don't have another hand, I got to catch it with my body. And then you're going to go under and then around the tree there. But then here's the important part. I've done it a decent amount right now. Just enough. You don't want to use too much of your line. You really want to conserve it. And doing this one-handed, that's kind of why it looks really, really bad. But that's okay. So now, since I have done those lashings, now I'm going to do what actually keeps them on tight. What you're going to do, you're going to take your line. See how right there I have one going over like that? I'm basically going to do that, but like 3 times. What that does, that really tightens it down a ton. But you're going to want to do that as tight as you possibly can. And you're going to want to just wrap it around, and then you're going to want to wrap it over, and then just keep going about 3 times, and then I'll show you how to tie it off. Now that I've went around about 3 times, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to bring it up, and then I'm going to try to stick it under that right there in the middle. And I'm going to try to tie another overhand knot. Okay, so now I've got this secure. This is incredibly tight. I just propped it up on this tree over here to keep it there. And that is really tight over there. Now, I'm just going to take and I'm going to do the same thing right here. Then after that, I should be good to go. Alright, now that I got this done, for some reason the camera won't focus. Come on, focus. There we go. This side, and I mean, this is solid. This side looks a lot better than that side over there because this side I did not have to use one hand for half of it. But now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to try to find about, I'm going to say about 6 sticks that'll be about 1 inch around, and I'm going to use this one cedar right here. And you're going to want them to be about 8 feet long. I actually might not use a cedar, but you want them to be about 8 feet long. And you don't want them to be dead. It's important that they're strong. They can be seasoned, which means where the wood is actually stronger than it is when it's green. So I'm going to try to find that. Alright guys, so in the last clip I said that you want it to be about 1 inch, but I'm going to go with about 1.5 inches to 2 inches because it needs to be really sturdy. But yeah, keep them about 8 feet long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut about 6 of those. 5 would work, but I'm going to try 5, and then we'll try 6. Hey guys, so I think in that last clip I said that I was going to get some sticks, 5 or 6 long sticks, and I was filming that on Wednesday, and today is Sunday. I had some problems with my back, so I couldn't finish it that day, but we're back out here today, and I got, I think I have like 5 sticks, I think. Yeah, 5. Now I'm going to show you what to do with them. Alright, so here we go. So, you're going to want to take, so I have cedar here, and we still have our pole right there. You don't want to lean them up like this, like that. See how it comes down? And this is a little short, but it's okay. But then you can tie this. You don't have to, but if you're wanting this to be a lot more structurally sound, you can tie this like we did here to this pole. You want to make sure it's straight down there so you can see when you look up it's not straight. So I'm going to kick this over just a little bit down here like that. There's Zeus. He's back out here today, but I'm going to kick it. And then I'm going to pull it out just a little bit more. And then put it about right there. Alright, now I'm going to grab another one. This is just one that I found that was kind of dead, and I figured why not use it. And Normally you wouldn't really want to use one that's really dead, but this one's still got some give to it. It's just not the strongest. It's a sycamore, which isn't bad. And I'm just gonna put it up here. I'm gonna take all my sticks, I'm gonna line them up on this pole like I've done these two. Alright, so I have them all lined up, and ideally you want them to be the same length, but I was trying to just I'm trying to cut down as few trees as possible. And if I am cutting down a tree, I'm trying to cut down a tree that needs to be taken out. So see how these trees are really close together right here? That one, that one, that one. It's actually best for a tree to have its own room. See how this one has a decent amount of room right here? That's good. But that's why I cut these down. But it's not ideal how I have this, but it'll be okay. Now, what I'm going to go do is I'm going to try to find some cedar branches. Or actually, I'm going to tie these up here, just how I did on that right there. So, I'm going to tie these on. I'm not going to tie them on too much, just to make sure that they'll stay on. So, I'm going to do that real quick. Alright guys, so with this one being so short, I'm not even going to use it. I'll save it for a later project, which will actually be kind of cool. But for now, we're going to do 4 will do. Which, it's not ideal how I have it, but it's okay. Which, even if you could get 3, it would still work. You would just need, the next part I'll show you what you need bigger. But, so the reason I did not tie this one down to this is, as you can see, there's like 2 feet of extra room. And that's my hand compared to how much room we have. And it doesn't really need to be tied down because, I mean, it's going to have to slide another 2 feet down in order to slide off. And now I'm going to do probably not really the most difficult part, just I'd say the most annoying, I guess. Which is kind of fun. But I'm going to go around and I'm going to try to cut some cedar limbs. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to see the green part on the cedar tree right here. I'm going to try to cut as many of the fluffiest limbs that I can find off, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. Alright, so once you've gathered up a decent amount, what you're going to do, you're going to take them, you're going to bring them over, you're going to put them on like that. Pretty much just like that. But, the reason you're going to need a lot of them, you're wanting to cover this good. So, I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so I'm taking a break for a second. I got it done on the top mostly. And honestly, if it was for a low of about 60 degrees out, this would work for you. I'm going to try to step back a little bit so you can see it. There you go. So, there's one of our beams right there going down. And I have the cedars going on it. There's one right there. And then I have all the cedars on it. If you don't have cedar in your area, another thing that would work is, see how this has a whole bunch of like branches on it? Put that on top and take a whole bunch of these leaves on the ground and just put it on that. Wouldn't be the most comfortable, which this is also not the most comfortable, but this will work. So remember how I said that that shorter pole will come in use? So this is what we're gonna do. So it's just it can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but this is we'll also probably use the cedar pole. Now, you're going to want to put your pole up against the side at just a little bit of an angle, not too much. You're going to want to put it up against your beam, one of your beams right there. And you're going to want to put it about how I have it right here, except you want to have it straight. About like that. If you look up, it's straight right there. Now, I'm going to cut this off right there. So then, I'll use that for something else, and I'll show you what I'll use that for. So, I'm going to cut that off. Alright, as you can see, I cut it off right there. It's going down to the ground. So, that section that I cut off is right here. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it down, I'm going to put it right there, also at a little bit of an angle. On this, the angle doesn't matter as much. So, now, I have another stick that I cut right here. And I'm going to put it up against, I'm going to try to put it in line with it down there, but about another 1.5 feet over. Then I'm going to see where I need to cut it off at. When you cut them off, you want to leave about 4 inches of room. That's about 6, but this one is a little bit wonky, so about 4 inches of room. So I'm going to cut it off again. Alright, now that I cut that off, you can see some of these branches are coming over. They're kind of pushing it up. I'm going to take these branches from the cedar, I'm going to put it on top. So now, I have this section down here from that I cut up there. And I'm going to put it next to this. I'm going to put it probably about a foot over. Try to kind of put it behind the limb, so put it on top would look like that. Putting it behind would go behind them. Then try to kind of prop it up right there. And then there you go. Now, I'm going to try to find the diameter of the stick. Doesn't matter as much as long as it's at least an inch around. That's important. So, now I'm going to find another stick that will fit from there to there. Now I'm going to cut this cedar, what I have here. The type of stick doesn't matter. It's just what I found, something dead. So I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to put it down there. Then I'll show you what I'll do. Now you can see that I have these sticks all lined up at the bottom here. So now I'm going to grab even more cedars, and I'm going to put them on that. And then once I get done with that, I'm basically going to do the same thing over here, except I'm only going to do it to right about there. I'll kind of step back so you can see it some more. So over there you can see our stick starts right there and goes down. But here we're just going to want to do it from here to right there. Reason is that's kind of like an entrance hole to right there. And because normally you would want to fire, hi Zeus, about right there. And that would keep you warm, so you wouldn't want to build anything right there. And that's why we're not going to cover this. But if you didn't, or you couldn't make a fire, you'd want to cover this, but I'm not going to do that today for just time's sake. Now you guys can see that I did it over here on this side. And now I'm going to do it over there on that side, just like I showed. Alright guys, so now you can see that it's pretty much done. And I'm going to go ahead and go in it for the first time. And it looks really good. And if it was a lot colder out and I didn't have a fire, I would build off of down here to make it completely like cased in. But I mean, hey, it'll partially block you from the rain, as you can see up there. And I'm in here. Zeus is in here. It's definitely got plenty of room to lay in. I mean, you could lay from down there to up here. And also a little trick. Say you're 6 feet long, then you would want to do about probably about these poles up here. You'd want to do them about 7.5 to 8 feet, maybe 9 feet. But 9 feet would do really good. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I do have a really cool video coming out next. I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. It's about survival weapons. But I didn't forget about showing y'all the creek. So here it is. There it is. It's beautiful down here. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.